So should, for example, health is a state subject, but as far as education is concerned, majorly it's a national subject. So should also we move on to take some aspects in education as a state subject as well, and how do we go ahead about it?
So, Dr. Sneha, very complex question because there's federal and there's state.
Yes.
This reminds me of my IIM Ahmedabad days going into management. I'm working with an NGO where we are feeding a school in one part of India. I won't take names because then we get state specific. But these children are in central India, very poor. And the only reason they come to school is because they get fed. In fact, I'm taking my son over there so that he understands we who live in Goa get good John on the table. It may not be nutritiously supreme. So, as a state policy, you want to test, but that's expensive. So you have a broad level statistic data saying that in Bisholi you have this problem, in Sankli you have this problem. So I genuinely believe that food feeding program should be state driven. Education, which is theoretical, needs to have the filter that what is the right for the child. They need to get educated. In that, you slip to this child who is going to grow up to an adult, might be nutritionally deficient. So I was startled to find out that stunting is a massive problem in this country. Now, Ryan Fernando is not in public policy, he's in private. All the Olympic medal people come to me. They're coming from Jharkhand, they're coming from Bihar, they're coming from Tamil Nadu, and they're coming from tribal belts where sports is being promoted. Right? Now you want that child to win in tennis, football, cricket, hockey, but ages 5 to 15 they're stunted. So this policy led by state governments as well as central government, we need to transcend as human population when we are bureaucrats. This is your problem, that is my problem. It has to disappear because we are talking about India as a country. But in that same breath, a Tamilian diet, a Goan diet, and Uttarakhand diet, as Dr. earlier Dixit said, it changes. So the template should be very, very simple. The economic strata of the state, the qualifications and classifications of the school. In the top schools, for example, in Goa we will take Red Rosary where I studied, Sharda Mandir School, People's High School, Mary Immaculate. Urban parents are educated, make it fashionable, educate the parents, PTA meetings, do all of that. As a policy, I've seen one thing. When you take people beyond a certain social economic structure, let's say, for example, any economist can shoot me, I'm not an economist, somebody has a scooter and above. Hey, what they're giving my child this laddu which is fortified. But if Ryan Fernando says, in this Chukundar laddu, we have put something special in sprouting which doctors recommended with the sprouting it has done and all of that stuff, then that socio-economic parent will say, I will buy this, I don't want government handout. So we have to think that even within state policy, the direction has to be tailor-made, which comes back to everyone's question. Nutrition is personalized even in a policy basis. And this is where the Aadhaar card and AI will change the world. What I predict is going to happen, and it is going to be a seismic discomfort for scientists and bureaucrats that they don't control stuff. Seismic discomfort how? If every child facial recognition scan is done, do you know in facial recognition alone you can get symptoms of diseases? Tongue scan in ancient Ayurvedic systems, your pulse system. What is created in this country, if it is fed via technology, you get an individualized blueprint. Policy then has to only dictate how the school feeds the child or how the parent feeds the child. If the parent cannot feed the child, subsidy has to come in. Now that is where I know where people are creating fortification of foods, but it is done because, sorry to say this, हमको target achieve करने का है. So GDP of this country is going to be bad because we are going to be the largest population. Sorry, we are already the largest population in the world. We are the youngest population in the world. But because we do not eat correctly, we are going to be the sickest population in the world. And that is economically going to affect our GDP. So those of us who are above 18 years of age, very difficult to change. So policy has to come in, and the word is not subconsciously, by scientific design, change that breakfast and lunch in schools to children. I think if we do that, we're going to get healthier children, acumen is going to be better, and let's face it, Dr. Sneha, this device can change the world, but it's also corrupting the younger generation's attention span. So they are not going to learn awareness. So hopefully till they become 15 to 18, we need to give the necessary, what you call as neurological stimuluses from diet and nutrition, so that the brain doesn't have a crutch. So suddenly this kid at 15, 18, up here is that of a 6-year-old because of nutritional deficiency, and that is government's problem. How do I make a smarter child?
That's a very, very good deliberation, Mr. Ryan. I think the way health is a state subject, slowly education in some aspect has to be taken up as a state subject as well, because again, it's a region-specific subject. And I think people like you, who are being followed by millions, can make a change, and this platform would request you rather to put on social media through your platforms that how school children and how we can, get this awareness in between the school children through the policy makers, as well as try to be more region specific.